Color guard prepare to present colors. Please rise and remove all headgear. Color guard advance. Color guard post colors. Salute. I invite the audience to join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. Please remain standing and place your right hand over your heart.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing as Madeline Ford sings her national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and white stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Two, color guard return to rank. Please be seated. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce the senior Vice President and President of St. Grace Central Middle School, Student Council, Jacob Egan and Owen Rosebrook.
Welcome to our annual Veterans Day program. We are privileged to have many veterans with us today as we honor all veterans. Let us welcome our guests with a round of applause. We also gratefully remember the veterans who are unable to be with us on this inspiring day.
On Veterans Day, we come together to pay tribute to the men and women who have worn the uniform of the United States Armed Forces. Americans across this land commemorate the patriots who have risked their lives to preserve the liberty of our nations, the families who support them, and the heroes no longer with us. Thank you for joining us today as we acknowledge and thank our veterans.
acknowledge those who proudly stood forth and went to war to make this world a better place for all of us. In 1954, President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed a bill proclaiming November 11th as Veterans Day and called upon Americans everywhere to rededicate themselves to the cause of peace.
Throughout our nation's history, the members of our armed forces have volunteered in the face of danger to protect the idea and advance the cause of peace around the world. These brave patriots have humbled tyrants, liberated continents, and freed millions of unspeakable oppressions.
Today, our military serves a cause that is noble and just as they spread the light of liberty. On Veterans Day, we remember those who have served in years long past, and today, during times of war and times of peace.
Our nation is fortunate to have these brave defenders, and we owe a debt of gratitude to all who have worn America's uniform with pride. We urge all Americans to take time to thank those who sacrificed so that we can enjoy the blessings of freedom.
Today, we thank all of the men and women who have served and are currently serving in the United States Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard. Today, we celebrate America's veterans for keeping our nation the land of the free and the home of the brave. It is not our weapons or our technology that make us free. It is the matchless spirit, skill, and devotion of our men and women in uniform. As we pay tribute to our veterans with ceremonies on this day, we are humbled by the sacrifices they and their families have made out of the deepest sense of service and love of our country. I'm proud to introduce one of these devoted soldiers as our keynote speaker. This soldier has served in the Minnesota National Guard for 29 years. He's been deployed in 2 overseas tours in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom, Kuwait. Here to address the middle school and the veterans is Sergeant First Class Mike Gunderson.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for that introduction. I'd also like to thank Mrs. Lee and the student council members for inviting me to be here with you today. On November 13th, 1986, at the age of 17, I enlisted into the Minnesota Army National Guard. I served as a duty helicopter mechanic and crew chief, and now platoon sergeant and Black Hawk crew chief. I also worked full-time for the Minnesota Army National Guard as a readiness NCO. In 1995, I spent 3 months in Guatemala, flying personnel and supplies. 2007-2008, I served as a crew chief in Iraq. I spent 2012 in Kuwait supporting all sorts of aviation missions. I've also supported multiple state active duty missions, such as fighting wildfires, flood relief efforts, hurricane relief efforts, and searching for people who have gone missing. I have a few pictures to share with you today. I'm going to turn so I can see them. So that was the beginning. Summer of 1987, after my senior year of high school. Anybody pick me out? That young guy right down there in the corner. So there's the picture of the Huey. That's what I started out working on. Pretty simple compared to what we have today. Good aircraft. Here's an example of some of the state active duty work that we do. Fighting fires with our water buckets, 640 gallons at a time. 2006, I was able to go out to a high altitude course in Eagle, Colorado. And on our way back, we flew past Mount Rushmore. This is down at Hurricane Katrina when we were getting ready to come home finally. As you can see, the aircraft was pretty full. We didn't have any vehicles or any way to transport anything, so everything had to go in the aircraft. Just some of the damage that we saw while we were down at the hurricane. It was an honor to be able to go down there and assist those people in their time of need. Just kind of take from this that Just because you're in the armed forces doesn't mean all you do is train to go to war. We also, in the Guard, train to help people. Everybody know those two kids? 2007, ready to leave for my first tour overseas. The one on the left, that was at Liberty helicopter landing zone. That was right there at Baghdad. And on the right is Taji, which was just north of Baghdad. Sunsets over the desert. They're always pretty nice. Something nice to see rather than all the bad stuff. Mission flags, we'd always take flags with us on missions, flying for people back home that sent care packages or helped us in some way, so we could fly that flag in the whole crew and sign a certificate and we can dedicate that flag to them. We'll get a picture with the whole crew. Anybody's ever seen any pictures of Baghdad, I bet you've seen the Cross Sabers. We made that into a helicopter landing zone for us. There was home. Everything you needed, electricity, air conditioning was very important. The room, I shared that with one other guy. Pretty small room, but it was a lot better than you think. A lot of dust storms over in the desert. Bad enough to where a lot of times we'd have to land somewhere and just wait it out and not launch at all. And that's what you get afterwards. That was taken in 2012 when I was in Kuwait. That's out in the middle of the desert. And it looks like the surface of the moon, there's nothing out there. And that right there is my favorite picture of all because there's nothing better than coming home to family. Thank you. Thanks for being here today to pay tribute to America's veterans. On Veterans Day, the American people have an opportunity to remember and honor the service members who have worn the uniforms of our nation's armed forces. When our nation has fallen under attack, these courageous men and women have risen to defend our freedom. Today, on every Veterans Day, we acknowledge our debt of gratitude to their sacrifices. The soldiers, airmen, sailors, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen of the United States of America continue to demonstrate the courage to sacrifice individual safety for the common good of our great nation. Following World War I and II, veterans were regarded as American heroes. When our service members returned home from Korea, their service did not receive the same recognition as veterans of the World Wars. Korean War veterans were in large part ignored. Vietnam War veterans came home to protest in a country divided. The perception of who veterans are has evolved over time, and veterans of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan have returned home to a country that was able to separate politics from participants. At this time, I'd like to take a moment to recognize the veterans here with us today. If you're able, please stand so we can thank you for your service. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your service to our country. Thank you for your sacrifice, selfless service, and strength. We're grateful that you have risen to our defense. Thank you for valiantly preserving our heritage of freedom and for committing yourself to promoting enduring peace. Many of you may not have been aware of the veterans surrounding you today. The Department of Veteran Affairs reports that we have more than 405,000 veterans in the state of Wisconsin, which is about 7% of our population. As we walk away from our time together, I encourage you to reflect on how the actions of veterans have shaped the nation we live in today. Take a moment to thank a veteran in your community for his or her service and sacrifice, and more importantly, thank their family. President John F. Kennedy shared these words: as we express our gratitude, We must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter the words, but to live by them. Again, thank you so much for extending the invitation for me to be here today. Thank you to the students for celebrating our nation's veterans. Thank you to the staff for teaching these young citizens about the importance of Veterans Day. God bless our veterans, our servicemen and women, our leaders and our citizens, and as always, God bless our nation, the United States of America.
Thank you, Sergeant First Class Mike Gunderson, for taking the time to share your experience and words of hope with us. At this time, Mrs. Smith and the middle school choir will continue to inspire us as they sing "Because of the Brave," arranged by Bob Croxton.
But
selected to share a portion of her essay with us today.
Every morning, I wake up in my comfortable bed in my room that is always exactly the temperature I want it to be. I jump in my nice warm shower and watch Netflix on my phone. When it is time to leave for school or volleyball or church, a single worry about my safety or that of my family's never even crosses my mind. My biggest worry is about what I'm wearing to school or how I did in my history exam. I live a normal life, just like every other teenager, except I don't. I live the life of a special kind of teenager, an American teenager. Over 800 million teens live in the entire world, and out of those, only 35 million in our country. We don't understand how lucky we truly are with our warm showers and safe schools. We can't even comprehend what it would be like to get persecuted for saying something you believe, or for just walking down the wrong street. American citizens have so many rights that no one else has. We have the freedom of speech, the freedom of religion, and the freedom to vote. We choose how our country is run, not a power-seeker successor to a throne. Who knows where we would be if we had lost one of those many fights for freedom? Would we be in a country that doesn't allow us any of these liberties that we take for granted? We will never know because our veterans and military fought for us, and they fought hard. The America I believe in didn't come at a low cost, but we have it nonetheless. The America I believe in came at a priceless cost, and our veterans paid it for millions of people that they would never even get to meet. The America I believe in is here because of it. So veterans, from all of us, thank you. Thank you, Caitlin, for sharing those wonderful sentiments. That is the America I believe in, too. We will now hear Armed Forces on Parade, arranged by Andrew Ballant and conducted by Mrs. Hopkins. Veterans, please stand when you hear your branch's anthem and see your branch's flag.
Snyder, United States Navy, 1963 to 1969. My grandson, Brett Iverson, 7th grader. Pretty soon he'll be as old as me. Just want to thank everyone for this program.
My name is Ted Falk, United States Navy, 1966 to 1970, and I'm here to see my grandson, Jack Dusky. Thank you all for this.
Chuck Riesdorf, United States Navy, 1960 through 1964. My granddaughter, Gwendolyn Bobbick, my grandson, Gavin Bobbick.
Hi, my name is Mike Fraser. I'm here with my grandson, Joel, and my grandson, Jared. I served in the Navy from 1971 to 1975 to the Vietnam War.
I'm Jerry Mickla. I'm with my granddaughters, Eva and Katie. And I was in the Navy from 1966 to 69 active, and in the reserves till 72. Thank you.
I'm Doug Stevens. I'm here with my granddaughter, Eva Mortel. I served in the Navy from 75 to 78.
I'm Boyd Owens. I was in the Navy from 1984 to 2004, and this is my son, Tyler Owens.
I'm Steve Peterson. I served in the Army from 1968 to 1974.
I'm Lawrence Wolf. I served in the Army from 1965 to 68. And this is my granddaughter, Madeline Dahl.
I'm Dwayne Johnson, living here in Hammond. I went into the service in 1946 at Boyceville. I was in the World War II, but from 41 to 45, I was in high school. But I was 18 and 45 and registered for the draft. Last first served 6 months in occupation Japan, and it was wonderful. And I thank you for the service you kids provided me.
Hi, I'm Jim Bonte from Hammond here. I got drafted during the Vietnam War in 71 to 73, and I got served over in Germany for 18 months. I got a super program. Proud to be a veteran.
Sergeant Matt Strand, originally from Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, and Delta Company 724 Engineers, right out of high school in 1992. And my last tour was in Iraq, and got out in 2004, here with my son, Nick Strand.
I'm David Olson, U.S. Army. I was in the infantry, enlisted in 88, got out in 92, and I am here with my son Elias.
Mike Gunderson, Minnesota Army National Guard, 1986 to present, and I'm here with my son Ryan.
My name is Bruce Clough. I just served in the Army from 66 to 67. I'm here with my daughter Hope.
I'm Warren Summers, and I served in the Army from 68 to 1970. And my daughter, Sarah Pomeroy, works at the school here. And my granddaughter graduated from here to the high school. Thank you.
My name is Fred Jordines. I was in the Army from 1963 to 1966, and I am the commander of the post here in Hammond. And tomorrow at 1 o'clock over in Roberts, we're having our veterans service. Everyone is welcome to come. Thank you.
My name is Jerry Aptal. I'm here with my granddaughters, Bryn and Kiara. I served in the Army and the Army National Guard from 1959 to 1964.
Steve Cavanaugh, here with my stepson Wyatt. Served in the U.S. Army from 1984 to 1992.
Ed McManus, Army, 1968-1974. Mrs. Schmidt, second.
Hello, Mark Cheswick. Served in the Army from 81 to 84. My daughter is Lillian Cheswick.
My name is Paul Ford Hammond. I was in the Army from 54 to 57. They sent me over to Germany as an auto mechanic, and I didn't know anything about it. I was trained to build roads, but all I did is back to building buildings and 20-ton tractors all my life. So, and then I'm glad they had this program here today. And thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Steve Schaefer. I was in the National Guards from 86 to 92. I'm here with my daughter, Peyton.
I'm John Miller. I was in the Army from 1968 to 1970 in Berlin, Germany, and I'm here with AJ and Dan Saxon.
My name is Patrick Neatfeld. I'm in the Army National Guard from 89 to present, working on 29 years, and I'm here with my son, Benjamin.
Arnold Jacobson, Army National Guard, 57 to 62, activated in 61 and 62. Thanks so much for putting on this program today.
I'm Roger Lundquist, 9 years, joined in 53 with the Army National Guard. I'm here with our daughter, great-granddaughter, Miss Breeze. I don't see her, where is she? Anyways, I'm with her.
Rudy, spent 1961 and 1963, 19 months in Germany, in 1964 and 1966, active reserve at Fort Snelling, Minnesota.
My name is Matt Fall. I enlisted into the Wisconsin Army National Guard in 1995. I served until 2015 and then transferred into the United States Army Reserve. I'm also a post member of New Richmond Post 10818. I'm here today with Connor Fall. We have a large military family, but also one of the community. Thank you for your program this morning.
I'm Ralph Monkelwitz. I was in the Army from 1967 to 1969. And this is my grandson, Nicholas Thompson.
My name is Tom Franks. I was in the United States Air Force between 1967 and 1971 during the Vietnam War. I'm here with my grandson, Brendan Rowling, and it's an honor to be here.
Luke Tajima, Air Force, Air National Guard, 14 years, and this is my stepdaughter, Leah.
Stephen Tainter, Air Force active duty and reserves, just retired 2 months ago, 30 years. Stepdaughter, Leah.
George Reed, Air Force, 1971 to 75. I'm here with Brandon Reed and Kelsey Reed, my grandchildren.
Chris Stark, U.S. Air Force. I was in from 1980 to 1986, and I'm here with my son, Nathan Stark.
My name is John Holmgren, and I was in the Air Force from 1970 to 1974, and I'm here with my granddaughter, Caitlin, and grandson, AJ. Thank you very much for this program.
I'm Laura Anderson. I've been in the Army National Guard since 2003 to present, and I work here at the middle school.
My name's Joe Boulder. I enlisted in 1973, Marine Corps, and got out in 79, and joined the Guard in 83, and got out in 2000. So 22 years service. I'm here with my granddaughter, McKenna Hawkins.
I'm Andy Rosopoulos, United States Marine Corps, 1990 to 96. I'm here with my daughter, Natalie Rosopoulos.
Jamie DeKeen, United States Marine Corps, 95 to 99. And I'm here with my son, Philip. And I also want to recognize his father, Big Phil, who is retired Coast Guard in 1993 to 2015, who couldn't be here today.
Bill Findlay, United States Coast Guard in the 60s and the 70s. Did 3 years in stateside, 1 year over in Vietnam, done really calm. And today, I have a special friend with me, and her sister is Mia Evans, whose aunt is Katie, the former Katie Uziak, who graduated here in 1996. And her husband is our son, Mike Findlay, and they are in active duty on New York. And also, I think Kayla is up here in the audience somewhere as well. There she is. And they also have an uncle, his name is Aaron Reese, who I believe was originally from River Falls, and he is on active duty Air Force in England. So there's a lot of cousins here that have people in the military.
I'm Reuben Coleman, U.S. Coast Guard, 63 to 67. All my children graduated from Central, and today I have 2 granddaughters. The Webb girls are here with me.
Thank you, honored veterans. We are very happy to have these veterans here to celebrate Veterans Day, but there are some who never came home. We must honor the POWs and those missing in action. Jacob and Owen will share the meaning of each item at the remembrance table.
We call your attention to the small table, which occupies a place of dignity and honor. This table will be set for one, symbolizing the fact that some are missing from our ranks. They are referred to as prisoners of war, or POWs, and missing in action, MIAs.
We call them comrades. They are unable to be with their loved ones and families today, so we join together to pay our humble tribute to them and bear witness to their continued absence.
This table is small enough for only one person, symbolizing the frailty of one prisoner, alone against his or her oppressors. It also reminds us of the loneliness we feel without them. Remember.
The table is round to show our everlasting concern for our men and women still missing. Remember.
The tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their intentions to respond to their country's call to arms, so that their children could remain free. Remember.
The single rose in the vase signifies the blood that many have shed and sacrificed to ensure the freedom of our beloved United States of America. This rose also reminds us of the family and friends of our missing comrades who keep the faith while awaiting their turn. Remember.
The lone candle stands for the frailty of one soldier alone, trying to stand up to those who are against him. Remember.
The candle also reminds us of a light of hope which lives in our hearts to illuminate their way home, away from their captors to the open arms of a grateful nation. Remember,
The black ribbon on the candle reminds us of those who will not be coming home. Remember,
a slice of lemon on the plate reminds us of the bitter fate of those missing in a foreign land. Remember,
the salt sprinkled on the plate reminds us of the river of tears shed by families and loved ones as they wait. Remember,
the glass is inverted. They cannot toast with us today. Remember,
the chair is empty. They are not here. Our lives are incomplete because they are not here to sit with us today. They were here for us. We are still there here for them. Remember,
in honoring America's POWs and MIAs, each of them, all of them, please stand and silently face the table where they should be sitting with us today. Thank you, Jasmine Geiger, Bradley Johnson, and Jackson Pettit. Everyone may be seated. Veterans Day presents us with the opportunity to honor and appreciate those who have served in the armed forces. However, you are encouraged to express your gratitude and admiration each day of the year. Please always remember our military men and women as they strive each day to bring peace and freedom to those who are oppressed. Thank you, students, staff, community members, and most importantly, veterans for attending today's program. Please stand and remain silent as we retire the colors. Color guard, attention. Color guard, advance. Color guard, retire the colors. Color guard, retreat.
Thank you, students, staff, community members, and most of all, and importantly, veterans for attending our program. Please stand and remain silent. The veterans will be standing over here. And fifth grade is going to shake their hands, student council and Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. Eighth grade, you may return back to class.
Yeah.